Alright, let's talk about the importance of Giga Shanghai. And this chart, what are we looking at? Well, you can see the vehicles per day that are being put out by Giga Shanghai over time. So this is basically a 2-year period starting January and going all the way till March data. And this data is adjusted for work days. So what I've taken here is the official work days. So that's the normal months minus the weekends, minus Chinese holidays and anything else that made production impossible, basically. And I've adjusted these with basically the deliveries that we know from Tesla that are reported through various sources. And so you can see that this chart has been scaling up nicely. So this is especially after July, Giga Shanghai output made a very large jump above the 3,000 vehicles per day produced and put out of the factory. And now we have kind of peaked here a little bit at 3,500, and that was February data. And I actually also calculated for March, because of course we know that since the 28th of March, Tesla Giga Shanghai is actually also suspending production because of the lockdown in Shanghai. We don't know when this is about to end. Stay with this video for some data around the COVID situation in China. And then, well, here I have adjusted already those missing dates, which they couldn't produce cars, and they are similarly very close to the 3,500. And possibly actually in April we would have seen a further improvement on this metric. And so, well, we are getting closer and closer to the 4,000 a day. But instead we are in the situation that, well, that we have two factories that are just starting now, which are Giga Berlin and Austin. They may look similar to Giga Shanghai right at the very beginning. Maybe Giga Berlin is already a little bit further. Maybe they can produce, let's say, 500 vehicles per day. I'm not sure about that because they have been idle for such a long time, right? Waiting for the permits. But of course, they are nowhere near to where Giga Shanghai is currently in a full ramp mode, and can certainly not substitute and make up for Giga Shanghai, unfortunately. So already based on this chart, you see that this factory needs to go online as soon as possible again. And what are the prospects of this? Very hard to say. Today I made a post here in our Patreon community, and by the way, you can join this community and get those latest informations always on the fly. And I posted this chart where you can see the yellow line is actually Hong Kong. So these are the COVID cases over time, starting by day 1 till day 44. That was the situation in Hong Kong. And you can see the blue line here instead is Shanghai. We can see a first drop actually today, minus 10% in COVID cases reported daily, and a much more flat curve here. So indicating that hopefully also this zero COVID policy is having some effects there and could hopefully prevent such kind of a spike, and may actually be trending down from here. And this could potentially unlock some easing. Here you see a video of people that are allowed to leave lockdown in a way that they can go outside and walk in the street in some areas where there hasn't been a COVID case for 14 days in Shanghai. And I would imagine, and I've posted this also on my Patreon in a summary post, that the government will try and make this possible also for especially the factory areas, and possibly also workers sleeping in the factories. There are already cases reported by that. For example, even the traders in Shanghai, they are sleeping in the office. And I think we may see something like this, such kind of an easing policy pretty soon, based on those trends on the COVID cases that I've shown before. And that may actually help Giga Shanghai to start production again, but it may not solve every issue, because some of the issues are, of course, also because of the logistics, that many truckers cannot enter Shanghai, or they don't even want to, even if they are paid double, because then they would have to quarantine. And so they need to solve those kind of logistics issues as well, because also Giga Shanghai obviously depends on the suppliers from outside or the close by regions. So difficult task, very hard to predict when this will happen, but I would assume maybe even by the end of this week we will have some news around Giga Shanghai, and that would be great news for Tesla, as I've shown the importance of this factory for Tesla and of course for the EV revolution in general in China. So thank you guys for watching, please like and subscribe, and then see you in the next one.